Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you could join me for this explainer, especially all of you students from Europe Hotel School. We're about to explore a huge shift happening in hospitality. It's all about moving beyond the simple transaction to build something much more powerful, genuine, lasting trust with your guests. So let's jump right in and see how this is going to shape your future in the industry.
All right, so here's our roadmap for today. We've got 4 main stops on this journey. First, we'll look at what it means to go beyond the transaction. Then, we'll dive into the incredible power of story. After that, we'll get really practical and talk about building authentic trust. And to wrap it all up, we'll see the lasting impact that this entire approach can have.
Okay, let's start with our first section. To really get what modern hospitality is all about, you have to understand that guest decisions, well, they're often driven by feelings and emotions, not just cold, hard logic. So let me ask you this. Think about it for a second. Sure, things like amenities and price matter. Of course they do. But people rarely pick a hotel just based on a checklist. What they're really choosing is how they imagine their stay will feel. They're not just booking a room, they're booking the idea of waking up to that amazing view or the feeling of pure relaxation in a quiet, beautiful space. And this slide, this is where it really comes together. You can see the contrast so clearly. On one side, you've got traditional marketing. It's all focused on the transaction, right? The price, the features, the big book now buttons. But content marketing, that's a whole different ballgame. It's playing the long game. It's designed to shape that imagination we were just talking about by focusing on emotion and forging a real connection long before a guest even considers making a reservation. So if it's all about emotional connection, how do we actually do that? Well, our most powerful tool by far is story. This is all about creating narratives that make your hotel a key part of a guest's amazing journey, not just another line item on their credit card statement. And that brings us to this key concept, experience storytelling. Guests don't go home and rave about the square footage of their room. What do they remember? They remember the warmth of the welcome they received, the amazing smell of coffee in the morning, the incredible view from their balcony. Great storytelling captures all of those sensory details to communicate the actual feeling of being there. Just think of it like this. A guest's weekend trip is its own little story, and that story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It might start with the quiet comfort when they first arrive, move to them exploring a local market, and end with a fantastic dinner back at the hotel. When you're the one telling that story, your hotel gets woven right into the fabric of their whole experience. You become the setting for their adventure. Okay, so we've talked about the what. Now, let's switch gears and get into the how. How do we actually use these ideas in the real world to build authentic trust that really lasts with our guests?
The path to getting there is all about being genuinely helpful. I mean, when people are planning a trip, they have a million questions. By creating content that actually answers those questions, things like guides to local festivals or tips on the best scenic walks, you start to position your hotel as a trusted expert. All of a sudden, you're not just trying to sell a room, you're helping them plan a better, more memorable trip.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's all about showing, not just telling. A single photo that captures the morning light hitting a breakfast table, or a quick video of the city lights from a balcony, that can do more than 1,000 words of description. Visuals like these let people step into the scene and imagine themselves there, which makes that desire to visit so much stronger. But here's the catch. This whole thing only works if it's built on a rock-solid foundation of trust. Today's travelers, they can spot a fake a mile away, so authenticity is absolutely everything. Your content has to reflect real experiences, and consistency is non-negotiable. The beautiful story you tell online has to perfectly match the reality a guest finds when they walk through your front door. When that happens, trust doesn't just grow, it deepens. So what's the payoff for all this work? In our final section, we're going to look at the tangible, measurable results you get when you put relationships and trust ahead of everything else. And the impact is huge. For starters, search engines absolutely love high-quality, helpful content, which shoots your digital visibility way up. Then, when people find that content genuinely useful or inspiring, what do? They share it. That creates organic reach. And the best part of all this? Over time, your need to spend a ton of money on paid ads goes way, way down. And maybe the most important outcome of all is this: powerful loyalty.
By keeping that conversation going through things like newsletters or social media, you stay connected with past guests. Sending them personalized stories that you know they'll like, say wellness tips for someone who visited your spa, it deepens that bond and makes them want to come back again and again. So if you take away just one thing today, let it be this. This whole approach, this entire philosophy, it all comes down to one single principle. Serve the guest first. When your content genuinely informs them, inspires them, or even just entertains them, they see you as more than just a business trying to make a sale. They feel understood and respected. And from that feeling, well, that's where true trust and loyalty are born.
And that brings us to the end. But really, for all of you, this is just the beginning. As you step out and become the next generation of leaders in this amazing industry, I want you to carry this one question with you. What story, what unforgettable story will your hotel tell? Thank you.